Hello, YouTube land. This is my first video, so bear with me. Um, I wanted to touch on interval work and overtraining in cycling. Now, 80% of cyclists are overtrained, if not more than that. Probably everybody, if anything. Nobody knows how to recover, and they don't know how much training to actually do, period. And if you go to any um, training applications, they were all of them will have you overtrained. All of them will have you overtrained. Now, I've been doing a 10-minute interval just to prove that less is more. I've been doing a 10-minute interval and I dropped my FTP down to 240. Okay? Just to see, exactly how much 10 minutes will give you. Because you know what? If your FTP is a little bit too high, if you're like around 270 or above, and it's harder to gain anything at that point. So I had to drop it down, bring it to 240, and see exactly how much I can gain off of a 10-minute interval, holding it a little bit above threshold. Okay? And that 10-minute interval actually gave me enough power to do a 40-mile ride or a 50-mile ride, depending on the elevation, around 20 miles an hour in around 5 to 6 months of doing 10 minutes every single day. Now they're going to tell you, "Oh my god, you're doing an interval every single day?" That's too taxing. You're going to fatigue. You're going to fail. And it's untrue. I've been doing this all my life. I've been doing this since 1998. And everyone was making fun of me when nobody was doing it. Nobody was doing this. No professionals were doing any interval work. I guarantee you they weren't. Because if they were, everybody else would be doing them. Everybody was doing base miles. Okay? I was the first one to ever bring out interval training and structured training in cycling. How can a fatigued cyclist do any intervals? Think about it. All cyclists, racers, are fatigued. How can they do intervals? It's not going to happen. You understand? I, on the other hand, am not a professional. And I was not fatigued to the point where I couldn't put in an interval. So, back in the days, even I was tainted by the base miles, and I needed to put in, I don't know how many miles all the time so I could, you know, keep my fitness. And I couldn't do it. I mean, if I would to have to put in so many miles every week, I mean, who could do that? It's just impossible. So I went back to my old school type of way, where I was like, I'm gonna just do what I know best, and I started to apply interval training since 1998. And everyone was making fun of me for posting a 2-minute interval on Strava back then, you know? Or when Strava started. I would put a 2-minute interval, 5-minute interval, and they would tell me, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Whatever, man. I mean, if you don't, I don't care to explain to you. Period. Whatever. They're just making fun of me, so whatever." I mean, 10, 15 years later pass, and all of a sudden everybody knows what I was talking about back in the days and what I was doing. You understand? I was sick and tired of explaining myself. They would ask me, "Where's your base miles? What do you do?" There's no way that you're that fast and you only do like the longest ride on Strava is 30 minutes. There's no way. You're doing something. You're definitely doing some kind of secret training on the side. Or if not, maybe, who knows what else you're doing, hinting towards I'm doing steroids, which I've never done in my whole entire life. No creatine shakes, no protein shakes, no nothing. Ever. So they couldn't understand how I was this fast because they themselves can't believe that so little is so effective. So I did this 10 minutes so I can prove to everybody that look, I'm only doing a 10-minute interval and look how much fitness it gave me. I made a whole bunch of videos. Guys who do 100 miles, 150 miles, I blow them away. You're going to tell me, oh, because you are more. I do a 10-minute interval. I don't care what you're saying. 10 minutes, 40 miles, I'm still blowing everybody apart. What? You see? Now, there is a sequence to this. You can't do intervals, and it's the truth. You will fail. But there's a sequence to this. You could do intervals every single day and not fail. And I do it. I do it every day and I don't fail. I just keep moving up. And the more focused I am, the more I gain. It's not easy to do. That I will admit. Is it difficult? Yes. I mean, do you want to get fast? Or do you want to stay slow? You have to be able to push yourself past that point of you thinking you're going to fail, because you're not. It's just your mind telling you, oh, stop, I can't take it no more, you pussy. Just push yourself. You'll get there. And it's only a 10-minute interval. And the only thing you have to tell yourself is, I could just be done in 10 minutes. And every time you do it, you start to give more every time. And the key to this is do enough not to fatigue. So the next day you could get on there again. But there is a sequence to these intervals where cadence has a tremendous role in being able to do these intervals, or else without that cadence there, you will not be able to do them. And that's where that plays a tremendous role in recovery and gaining strength and everything. The biggest problem in cycling is people, I mean, in all sports, people don't have the patience to allow themselves to get better and faster and stronger. They don't have the patience. You know, they think they want it today. Dude, it's going to take a year. A year. The longer it takes, the longer you'll keep your gains. You know? The shorter you ride. I mean, the shorter, the amount of gains that the gains that you gain in a short amount of time, you will lose. They will not stay. You know? So if you could gain strength and power very slowly and go up from there and be patient, all the gains you make, you will keep and grow from there. People get on their bike and they go out, they do 150 miles thinking that that's going to... Dude, how could you go... What do you think you are, a professional? You're going to go out there and do 150 miles and think you're not going to be fatigued for a few days? Why fatigue yourself? You're going backwards. How stupid is that? You know? I mean, who does 100 miles and then goes out and does another 100 miles the next day? I mean, you really think that that's going to help your fitness? I mean, if you're doing it for any other reason, like to be able to do that, hundreds of miles every single day, that I understand. But if you're doing it to get fast, to go race, you're going backwards, buddy. I can guarantee that to you. There is no way that a training like let's say like professionals do, and you're just a regular guy, you thinking that you're going to become like them, you got to be out of your mind. You're fooling yourself. You know, those are pros. That's what they do. and they're on steroids too. So, what are you thinking? I mean, seriously, what are you thinking? You think all those guys are clean? Anyway, less is more. You don't need to go out there and kill yourself to do 100 miles to gain power. That is going backwards. That makes no sense. Why would you fatigue yourself? Okay, let me give you a different idea of how it would not make any sense. If you were to work out chest one day, would you go work out chest the next day again? You wouldn't. Nobody would. Nobody on this planet would. I don't care, even if you say, oh yeah, I'd go do chest twice. You're an idiot. You're an idiot for saying that. Nobody does it. Nobody's going to go hit a fatigued part of their muscle again. You know, it's like pulling a scab off. Who the fuck would do that? You're going to pull your scab off so you can bleed again? And scar? Because that's what you're doing. You got to allow your body to heal. And the less you do, if you're looking to do any intensity, because intensity is the best. From my experience, intensity is the best, especially the older you get. Intensity is the number one thing, you know, to keep you fast. You can't go out there thinking, no, I'm going to go slow to get fast. That's all bullshit. That doesn't work, you know. I mean, that's good for recovery. That's it. It's good for you to recover. Nothing more. It doesn't help you in any other way. To do those long, slow rides. Intensity is the best, and if you learn how, and if you could take out the idea of base miles out of your head, you will right away get quicker. If you just do a 20 to 30 minute interval every day, that will give you enough power to handle anything. And that's all you need. 20 to 30 minutes. And once you get used to pushing yourself this hard every single day, it becomes second nature. It's like nothing after. You get used to it. It's not a big deal. You know? Don't be a pussy. That's it. I'm going to touch on a lot of other things, like, let's say, how fasting works, the dangers and the ridiculous idea of keto diet. I really want people to understand how power meters are dumbing down cycling. It's a great tool to train on, but I'm going to explain what I mean when I say that power meters are dumbing down cycling. I've been saying that for many years. From the minute they came out, I've been saying that. Okay? I'm going to touch on why a set cadence is ridiculous, and no one really has a set cadence. A set cadence can be worked on exactly the same way you work on your power. Same way. You gain your cadence. And by being able to gain different type of cadences and handling them actually gives you more gears. You understand? Like, if I'm going up a hill, right, and I only have a set cadence where, let's say my cadence is 80, 85, right? 80, 85. I have 10 gears. I only have 10 gears. Or if I could only use 3, I only have 3 gears till I run out. But if you have if you could If you could hit different cadences and hold it, those are different gears. If you could hold, if you could hold an 80 cadence, 85, 90, 95, 100, 105, 110, 120, 125, 130, 140. You can hold it. It's not a big deal. You could go to my Strava and you can see where I do I'm training on my I put a little spin thing there on my Strava where I do my cadence work. And you could see I go up to 130 and I hold it there for a minute, So if you 140, whatever, if you do the right training, you can actually improve your cycling so much to where people won't understand what you're doing, and they won't understand how you are so fast because they just don't know how to ride that well. It's like understanding the gears and understanding the bike much better. And this is the problem with power meters, because power meters dumb down cycling by making the cyclist push on just that one cadence and that certain power they're used to, boom, 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 not working on their cadence, not working on nothing else but just power. That's why when power meters came out, they were everyone was like, "Oh, cadence is like irrelevant. Cadence is irrelevant. Cadence is irrelevant. Cadence is a cadence. This kid look. You don't even see cadence in Strava's. You have to hit. You have to go in the Strava so you could see the cadence. It doesn't show it straight out on the board, you know. So it's it didn't make it was irrelevant. You would ask people, so where do you keep your cadence? Oh, that doesn't matter. What? What do you mean it doesn't matter? Where do you keep your cadence when you're climbing? Oh, it doesn't really matter. Just go by feel. Yeah, you do go by feel. It's true. I'm not denying that. But going by feel sometimes is dumbing down, like I'm saying, the power meter. You just feel that. That's what they feel. You go by feel. So you just feel that, and then when you run out of that gear, you go into the other gear to feel that until you run out. By working on your cadence, that will actually give you more gears. I can guarantee that to you. I'm gonna try to make some videos like the way people Swift race. I'm gonna sit on the trainer and I'm going to work through each gear and explain to everybody, even about how to sprint and what is the best, how to find the right gear as you're going to sprint. Okay, you have to know that and have to being able to hit the right cadence on your sprint. When you start off your sprint, you should be starting it off at 100 cadence and topping off around 130. And I'll show you on the trainer how you can get there as you're all attacking each other to find that gear, because you might be traveling at different speeds and you have to know, where to top off at 130. So that too, well, I could do that on Zwift, and we could do that together and learn, and you guys can learn how to sprint correctly. Because let me tell you, from what I see, people don't bring their cadence over 100 during their sprint. So that's not, to me, that's not a true sprint. If if your cadence is around your average cadence, if your cadence is around your average cadence during your sprint, then it's not a sprint. I'm telling you that your sprint has to be around 130 cadence for it to be a sprint. You have to understand that. You can't be at your you can't be pushing at your average cadence during a sprint. That is just, and you'll see that time and time again, even in the A's. In the A's, you'll see that. So, yeah, I'm gonna touch on all this and much more. And I would like to even start doing some live sessions, and maybe you guys can answer questions and stuff like this soon, I guess. I don't know. For me, listen, I'll tell you the truth. It's kind of uncomfortable for me, this whole stuff, but I'm looking forward to do it, and I appreciate everybody who subscribed to the channel. Um, I just want to educate everybody on even the cycling industry, on disc brakes. I'm talking about everything. Everything. You guys are going to freak out on how much I have to say, put it that way. You know, especially about the cycling industry and how they push food and their products, and everyone's overtrained, and the training plans that they have are just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the things that they make people do to is just so unnecessary, honestly. You know, if you don't stay on your bike riding, you don't wear down your tires, you don't put any wear and tear on your bike, and that's going to take away from the industry. If they're not going to sell tires, brake pads, and bar tape, and all this stuff, they're not going to stay as they're not going to make as much as they're thinking of making. So when the trainers came out and everybody started to stay home, they saw a massive loss from one side. They gained some money through the trainers, but a massive loss from all this other products that are not selling, like tape and brake pads, tires, and tubes, and tire fillant, and I mean all these things, batteries, and all these things that you need to go out and train, clothing, everything. Well, I mean, when you're home, what do? You just get on the trainer with a bib, and you're done in a few minutes. That's all you do. That's all I do. You know, they don't want everybody to get used to that. Anyway, I guess we're gonna touch on everything, and I would like for everyone, if anybody wants to leave a comment underneath of maybe questions or something, or maybe an idea for a video, let me know. And again, I thank everybody for your subscriptions, and I guess we'll talk again. Thank you.